Hi everyone, it's Sarah from Nova Scotia. Welcome back to my channel, Colorful Creations. I'm going to pour on a vase today. It's just washed and it's drying right now, so while it's drying I'm going to show you my paints and stuff. I didn't do anything special other than just soap and water and make sure the sticker's off the bottom. And then once that's dry, it'll be good to go. So I'm just going to let that sit there on the paper towel for a few minutes. So I have an art panel. It doesn't matter really what you put under it, you just need something. This is a experiment I did that went horribly wrong. So I'm gonna paint over this, and I have this sitting on a spinner just so that I can turn it as I pour, so I can see all the sides. So you just kind of want to have something under it, and then what you're gonna do is support it with a cup or something. Now these vases, I haven't been able to find anything in a cup skinny enough to fit in there, so I've been taping together these paint bottles and just reinforcing them really well. So you kind of can just sit that on top of your canvas or whatever surface you choose to use, and then sit your vase on top of that, just so it keeps it off the surface so that the paint can pour down and freely run off without gluing itself to anything like that. So that's kind of what you need. So this is the setup I'm going to use today. I'm going to use a split cup. I bought this on Etsy a while back, way overpriced. It was probably like 80 bucks or something, way too much, but I couldn't find anything else anywhere else. And I don't know, I think you might be able to get them on Amazon now, but at the time, this is what I got. I love it. It has 6 compartments. It keeps my colors nice and separate so they don't mix together too well. And it holds 16 ounces, which is pretty good amount of paint. And I found I need that much to cover the vase and then have enough to spread out on the painting, like on the panel or whatever I'm using to make a painting out of that. So I'm gonna use 6 colors. I'm gonna use mostly blues and gold. So I have, I'll just show you as I'm kind of putting them in here. Sorry, my head's gonna be cut off of this part, but that's okay. So I'm just putting them in this split cup. So I'm gonna separate these so it's like a dark light. I think that'll work. Okay, so the first one is ultramarine blue mixed with a metallic blue. So the ultramarine blue, ultramarine blue, that's hard to say, is by Montmart, and the metallic blue is by Sargent Art, and they're just mixed together. It just gives it a more shimmery look, and I was running out, and I was kind of trying to use up some stuff, so I mixed them together. They're pretty similar in color. There's also, before I continue, there's a video or a link to a video in my description of how I mix paints normally for this stuff. So you can check that out if you want. The next one is Pebeo Iridescent Blue Green. This color is gorgeous. It's really shimmery. All the iridescents are actually. So I'm just gonna squeeze that in until it's pretty full. The next one is Artist Loft. Think for a second. Artist Loft Metallic Cobalt Blue. I know you can't really see these too well. Maybe you can see it. You'll definitely see it on the vase. This next one is a Titanium White by Montmart. Nothing special about that one. I use the same white for anytime I use white. I have Cerulean Blue by Montmart, and I have some Artist Loft, I think it's Artist Loft, Iridescent Pouring Medium in here. Just a bit, and it gives it some shimmer. I think I have a clog. That happens sometimes with these squeeze bottles. I normally love these squeeze bottles. I get them on Amazon, and I can mix up paint and store them in there, and just, if they're sitting for a bit, I just give them a shake, and then they're good to go. Now this somehow got a clog in it, so that's why I had to take the top off, but normally they're great, and they hold 16 ounces. So, you know, you can mix up a good amount of paint and put it in there. The last one is gold. This is, it's Pebeo Iridescent Gold, actually. I had this one mixed up before too, so I'm just gonna put that into the last slot. All right, I will try to show you all the paints in here. All right, so I'm gonna just set my vase up. Hopefully this doesn't fall over. I did have one fall on me one time. That sucked. I'm gonna grab a different, I have a couple of these done up. I'm gonna grab a different one. I'm not trusting it. I don't even know if that's any better. Okay, well anyway, I'm gonna do it and hope for the best. Okay, I think we can see everything. So I'm just gonna start pouring. This is looking really good. Just a tiny bit of gold is left. Most of it ran off, unfortunately. But the little bit that's left looks really nice. I'm hoping I don't lose all of that. Like it will keep running slowly. So it hopefully won't all be gone. So I'm going to move this out of the way to a safe place where it can sit for a couple weeks. And then I'll resin it later. So, oh, it's stuck. Come on, okay. I don't want to drop it. I'm gonna move this. And now I'm just gonna, I want to tilt this around. I'm gonna add a little bit of white paint. It doesn't really matter what color, I guess. This will just help it flow easier. I guess I should put the camera down so you can actually see what I'm doing, right? Now I have tried to spin these. I thought it would look cool, but it doesn't at all. So it's always better, in my experience, to tilt it. I have also tried to do it with a hairdryer and blow it out, and it made it really just muted. I guess I could have added more paint to it or something, I didn't think, but I wasn't happy with that result either. And of all the ones I've done, I've always been happy with them when I just tilt it. And then I can, you know, leave a little bit of negative space if I want to in the corners. Sometimes I try to get that, the part that was in the middle, try to get that off a little bit. All right, what do you think? Turned out nice. I'm going to take a popsicle stick, run it under the edges just to get that extra paint off. That'll dry into bumps, and then also while it's drying, it'll pull more paint on the top, so you don't want that. We'll clean up the edges, and then you know what? I'm gonna torch this because I do see a couple bubbles. Give it a quick torch. This turned out really cool. I like the little bit of gold in it, and it's really nice. So I'm just gonna let this sit with the vase to dry like 2 weeks, probably the same amount of time, and then I'll resin both, and it'll be a matching set. All right, so this is dry. I just want to show you quick before I add the resin. This is what the vase looks like without the resin. Dried pretty nice. There's bits of the gold throughout, and once I add the resin, the colors will really come back to life. It'll look wet again. So as you can see, they kind of kept running and straightened, all of this line straightened out. A little different than what it looked like when it was wet, right? And here's the panel. Kind of looks the same, just that it dried with cracks all throughout it. I'll show you. It's not ruined, it's just like they're all even throughout, and it's because this was a previous painting on this that I painted over, and that happens a lot, I find. But I'm gonna add the resin to it anyway, because this will actually just bring character to it, since this whole thing is like a crazy messed up design anyway. So they'll all fill in, and whatever you do see will just kind of add something to it. So I'll show you that. I'm gonna let this sit for another probably 2 weeks, I think, to make sure it's good and cured, and then I'll add the resin. So here it is, all done with the resin. You can see the cracks kind of add character. Personally, I'm not a big fan of something all cracked up, but some people love this stuff and they will buy it just because it looks more ancient, I guess. So, you know, personal preference, right? There's something for everyone. And here's the vase. It turned out really awesome. I'm trying to get my camera to really focus in on all the metallics and shimmering of this, but it's kind of hard. I don't know why. But you need to see this in person. All the blues are really showing up. Little specks of gold. I was hoping for a little more, but I think it's kind of perfect. So let me know what you think. Do you love it? Hate it? I don't know. Any suggestions, different colors you would like to see me try? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.